It's on you today. You good? Where's my door going?
I don't
We need a little bit. So fancy. Okay, can I have a motion to come out of exec? Mike and Jackie, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. And if we could, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, item 4, I need a motion to accept the agenda as submitted tonight. Jackie, Mike, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting held on September 18th and the special meeting held on October 27th, 2025, as submitted. Jen, Mike, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, Board of Education. Item 1. We could have a moment of silence to honor our former employee and friend, Margaret Peggy Volger. Thank you. Moving on to 6.2, recognitions, students of the month.
All right, I'm going to start off with Mrs. Buck. No, Mr. Eggleton.
I'm actually going to step up first, Dr. Jester. I hope you don't mind.
I do not.
So, in honor of Board Appreciation Month, the administrative team, myself, Mrs. Moots, Mrs. Buck, and Mrs. Adams wanted to show, of course, if we can get this out of here, our appreciation to our school board. We'd like to share that we're trying to do something a little bit different in regards to spirit, morale for our staff. And many of you have probably seen what are called challenge points. So these are well known in the first responder world. And one of the things that we're trying to do with our challenge points here at Sullivan West is make sure that we're mindful in regards to who we give them to. This is really seen as, something that is special, given to individuals that go above and beyond for our school district, high school, right, middle school, elementary school. So very fitting for the fact that you all are truly volunteers. I know the joke here typically is not just one meeting a month. So we just wanted to show our appreciation for you all, and thank you very much for all you do.
Thank you. I don't see Kevin here, but I'm still going to go ahead and introduce Kevin as our student of the month. So,
I'll fix it when you go.
Thank you.
What about you?
Yeah, because I'm short. So, I have the pleasure of recognizing Kevin today as a leader in our school community. So, Kevin stands out not just for his academic performance, but also his attitude, his work ethic, and his respect for others. So, as discussed last year, caught being good is the way that students in the elementary receive Student of the Month. It's because the number that are accumulated. So Kevin stands out, again, because of the kindness that he shows for others, most importantly, the respect. He approaches every task with determination, and even when faced with challenges, he keeps going. Often quietly, but often all the time with confidence. So Kevin stands out again because he enjoys gym class the most, but he does love reading and telling stories to whoever will listen. And he also likes to also be told stories. So, and he really was nervous to come in and speak with us, so you could tell that he was very, very shy. But again, he's quiet, but always doing what he's supposed to, and he's always determined. On the weekend, he does like playing Halo, so he does like playing the video game with who's ever at home that will play with him. So when Kevin grows up, he wants to be a professional gamer. So he does want to be a professional gamer, which, he laughed about and he said, I think I'd be great at it. I said, I think you would too. I think you'd do a great job. So thank you. Who he admires most is his dad, because his dad is always there, and his dad makes him smile and is always willing to play games with him whenever, he asks. So, and what also sets Kevin apart is his character. He's someone that others can count on, whether it's a classmate or whether it's contributing in discussions or simply treating everyone with kindness and maturity. So, unfortunately, Kevin's not here, but I wanted everybody to know that Kevin's efforts and what he does in the class and for the school community does not go unnoticed. So, thank you. So, we will give the certificate to Kevin when he's in school tomorrow.
All right, so good evening once again. I'm here tonight to recognize the Sullivan West Secondary School Students of the Month. We have one from our middle school and one from our high school. When I call the students up, if you please join me. I know it's a little awkward, but we definitely want to make sure that everybody recognizes you, of course, and appreciates you. At the end of the night as well, we'll have some additional time for photos with any families. So our first student of the month for the secondary school is Miss Tessa Heiser. Come on up, Tessa. So this might not be a surprise to some of you, because this young lady actually won this award last May of last year as well. So recently, while we were in a Sullivan West Middle School staff meeting, and staff were asking who the student of the month would be for October, what names individuals had, it was immediately shared Tessa's name. All the teachers were 100% in agreement and shared what a great job she does here at Sullivan West. Tessa is known by our teaching staff as being helpful to her peers, kind, and a hard worker. While recently reviewing Tessa's grades, it was very evident that she's a tremendous student that cares about her academics. Mom and Dad, if you're paying this month, I think it's going to be Superintendent's Honor Roll. So, Tessa is also currently a member of the modified soccer team and also a member of the junior high band. Additionally, she's active with the Sullivan West Future Farmers of America. She shared with us that her favorite book is titled We Were Liars by, is that Emily Lockhart? Yeah. And that her current favorite Sullivan West employee is Mr. McCarthy, and that her past favorite Sullivan West employee was Mr. Teeple. So probably definitely sparked some interest from Ag Club and into the FFA currently. She also shared that her favorite TV show is Gilmore Girls. I think that was the same in May as well. Tessa, right, when we did this. Extracurriculars, she stated that she also enjoys playing the piano. And one of the things that she truly likes here at Sullivan West is how kind the students and staff are. Tessa is interested in a future career in the medical field or possibly in interior design. Congratulations, Tessa. All right, for our high school student of the month, I'd like to bring up Miss Isabel Passante. So recently, Miss Isabel Passante had presented and represented Sullivan West and performed at the Sullivan 180 Healthier Generation Celebration with all of the school districts locally in Sullivan County. Isabel sang a wonderful rendition of the Greatest Showman song, A Million Dreams. Her performance was incredible, and the crowd was ecstatic to kick off the evening with all the excitement she brought. Truly an honor for our school district to have Isabel there representing us. Of course, her family, I believe her grandparents were there, retired teacher, so an incredible performance definitely for Isabel. Additionally, here at Sullivan West, she's a member of the Sullivan West Senior High Band and Choir. She also performs annually with the Sullivan West Drama Production Club. Outside of school, Isabel also participates in a variety of additional musical productions and is well known for her talent as a performer. Isabel likes to also act, sing, mix music, and draw in her free time. She did share with us that her favorite books are Percy Jackson. That's a series, right? Okay, I wasn't sure for that, so thank you. And additionally, she said she had a hidden talent. If they give me more time, I'd ask if you could rap for us tonight.
Oh, boy.
Isabel's favorite teacher here at Sullivan West is Mr. Martell. One of the favorite things she enjoys about Sullivan West is the availability to practice rooms in our music department. When I first read that, I was thinking that's quite interesting, but that truly goes to the beauty of our building. Not all schools have practice rooms for young musicians, so definitely something cool. Her future plans are to become an actor or go into the music industry. Congratulations, Isabel.
So usually we have one Sullivan West standout, but tonight we have many. Over the summer, we nominate our faculty, staff, and friends of education for awards. And during October, we're able to celebrate our award winners. While we celebrate their accomplishments at various events in October, we find it also important to share them at home for all that could not join us on those events. So first I'm sharing is congratulations to Mr. Ron Lickey. Mr. Lickey received the Friend to Education Award. He was nominated for bringing film making into our 4th and 5th grades. He brings the curriculum alive for students to write, act, and produce short films that are shown at the Big Eddy Film Festival in Narrowsburg. It is actually an amazing student experience, and we are very grateful that he's brought that program to Sullivan West. So thank you and congratulations to Mr. Lickey. And I don't believe but I do see Mr. Clark, if you could just stand up. Congratulations. Mr. Clark received the Outstanding Educator Award. He was nominated not just for his role as a veteran classroom teacher, but also for his leadership and vision with our science curriculum. Mr. Clark has been working hard to integrate the next-gen standards by using new resources in our classrooms, and we are very grateful that he's been pioneering the way. We thank him and congratulations to Mr. Clark. Also receiving an award towards the end of October is Mrs. Kayla Odell. She's receiving the Pupil Personnel Award for Excellence. Mrs. Odell was nominated for her role as a school social worker. She continues to rethink program and services designed to support students with some of the highest needs. She's an advocate for mental health, collaborates and connects Sullivan West to many community supports, and we are very grateful. So thank you to Mrs. Odell. They have the big party out and are making. Congratulations to Miss Megan Curry on receiving the Support Staff Award for Excellence. Mrs. Curry is our school cook. She was nominated for her work on creating meals that meet nutrition guidelines but also appeal to the tastes of our students. She is creative when adding in local sourced food and preparing menus. Last June, Mrs. Curry's leadership was exemplary when asked to serve food in the gymnasium for the rest of June. Knowing how difficult that challenge was, she came to the table with a very positive, solution-focused attitude and made it happen. So we thank Mrs. Curry.
I think you're up again.
And finally, the last but not least, is the Sullivan West School Board recognition. I wasn't going to miss that.
We give you all 100% raises. That's you're doing it.
That's right.
Just so you know, that's 0.
No pay. So Sullivan West School Board members do not just sit on the school board. They are very active. Mrs. Rose Joyce Turner, Mr. Kitson, Mr. Elmauer, and Mrs. Rutledge are all on the Sullivan County School Board Association, where Rose is also currently the vice president and Brian is currently the legislative liaison. Mrs. Jackie Rutledge serves on the Sullivan County School Board, BOCES School Board as well. And Mr. Kitson is our New York State School Board voting delegate and our New York State School Board advocacy liaison. So basically, they've all turned the once a month into a full-time job here. All of our members are parents and even grandparents of current students or recent graduates, which makes their work deeply personal. They're all on multiple committees and attend so many school events. I'm always proud to be working for a board who attends musicals, sports events, art ceremonies, and award ceremonies. We fill tables at events in the county because we care, and that is recognized by the community. Here, our board members have passionate open discussion, honest dialogue, and healthy dissent when searching for the best solutions. They are committed and we are proud of their community representation. So on behalf of the Sullivan West Central School District and the Bulldog community, thank you for all of your service. So every year we start school with presenting faculty and staff with years of service pins. And I have come to recognize that we haven't presented the school board with their years of service pins. So years of service pins are recognized in increments of 5 years of service. So for those of you that have served less than 5 years of service, you're receiving a plain blue Sullivan West pin, and that includes Mike Elmauer, Jackie Rutledge, Matt Halloran, and Christy Sigalakis, and Brian Kitson. So thank you for your years of service. Not quite 5 yet, but we'd be happy to make it there.
So close.
Now, Katrina Chellis has been a school board member for the past 7 years and will be earning her 5-year pin tonight. She could not make it. Jen Nystrom has been serving the school board for the past 8 years and has also earned a 5-year pin, which I believe should be at your table.
Yes,
there. Kathy Meckel has served for the past 13 years, earning her a 10-year pin. And finally, Rose Joyce Turner has been a member for 15 years, earning her 15-year pin tonight.
Amazing.
So congratulations. It's a small token for their so many nights out together on committees and at ceremonies. We are also presenting you with the board's favorite snack, which is the cookies from our school cafeteria, and Sullivan West lanyard, and some stickers and swag. So thank you all so much for all you do. And now we'll take a brief break for some pictures.
Right, so for all of our award recipients, if you go out to the photo board out the front, and then if you don't want to come back in for the rest of the meeting, you have a smooth exit right out. But feel free to stay.
I was looking to see what the back was. They're cute.
Yeah, you should open
Can the kids collect them and get more than one or no? They're cute. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's cute. I love it. Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Oh, I see.
The backs do too.
Yeah.
I thought they were different. I didn't think, I know what they are now.
Okay.
I thought,
We were dominated.
I wasn't.
Bleeding all over it, but. What's going on? I thought I got a class ring when I walked out.
That's what it looks like, right? It's your new class, right? Appreciation pin.
Never got one the first time.
One has got a diamond in it.
I mean, I hate to say it, the 5-year one does too, but. When do they get fancy? The only really fancy one is the 30-year. Stick around. Maybe a super fancy one.
Swipe card? To get in the door?
Yeah.
Is that what this is for? We're gonna have a swipe?
No.
Dan's like, yeah, that's what it's.
I don't know, just pay attention.
I'll put it on my voice.
It almost got hit. That's really cute.
Oh, I got it. Thank you. Thank you.
I really think that's great. I love it.
Is it redeemable another note? What are you looking for?
We'll just text them on the door and wait.
We're gonna try to have it open eventually. Sure. We can get on that schedule, that'd be awesome, right?
I open this.
All right, we're going to continue. For those that would like to provide public comment, there will be a sign-in sheet at the meeting. It's, I believe, over by the microphone. Please sign in, write your name, address, and topic you are discussing. If you have a question for the board or administration, please include your email or phone number. The public participation period shall not exceed 30 minutes. Comments should be as brief as possible. No speaker will be permitted to speak longer than 3 minutes. As a reminder and pursuant to the board policy, members of the public who would like to speak will address your comments to the board president and will refrain from making references to any member of our faculty, staff, or students. Anyone?
Where's this sign up thing?
Right over
Right
there,
over
right
there.
right by the microphone. That's right. Just put your name, phone number, address, and topic. Oh, now you can talk. Did you want to, Al, tell us what you want to talk about.
Oh. I'm Al Stepick, if you don't know me. I sit on the town board in the town of Delaware. There's an issue coming up that I think is gonna hit us big time. The Millennium Pipeline tax assessment, their grace period is over. And they're gonna really hit us with the assessment about that. And you're talking millions of dollars. Last year, the year before, we had a similar situation with the Villa Roma, where they challenged the assessment, and we won through lower courts, and they appealed it to the top court in Albany, and it was reversed. We had to pay back a couple $100,000. And the school district did too. They did, anybody that's taxed, the school district, fire district, the ambulance corps, the towns. So the Millennium Pipeline goes through Fremont, Delaware, Coshocton, down below. And this is really gonna hit all of us big time if it happens. We discussed at our town board meeting, and our supervisor, Scott Du Bois, is trying to get together with the towns, with the fire districts, with the county and the school district about combining litigation for this, because it's not cheap. And in the past, the school districts, nobody helped us on the town level to appeal some of these decisions and fight these assessments. So just a heads up and a warning to you that this is, the crap's gonna hit the fan here if they're successful fighting this assessment on the Millennium Pipeline. I know in the past, the railroads have done this too, constantly, so just be aware of it, and let's try to cooperate with the different districts, because we're all in the same pot here. So that's just what I want to bring up. The other comment, your security is pretty good around here. I must have hit 6 sets of doors before I could get into this building. And one other thought, we used to have guns in school when I went to school here, and that's a long thing of the past. Earl Kinney has taken it upon himself to have the old Delaware Valley Junior Rifle Club. We're gonna start up next, Wednesday night, next week. So if any kids wanna participate in it, it's no cost to the kids. We have some really good sponsors that keep up with costs and everything. So ammunition, guns, and safety equipment is all supplied. All we need is trigger pullers. So if any kids are 12 years old and up, they're welcome to stop by. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. And I believe, Al, we are, as a board, participating in that litigation already. We've already signed up to be a part of that.
Okay.
So you can share that with your board. Any other public comment? Okay, moving on to student member report.
Hi everyone.
Make sure you pull the mic up for you.
Hey everyone. Hope everyone's having a good transition to that cold weather that's coming. You know, it's feel it in the morning. My truck's barely starting up. So, a few things happening around. Main focus is there's a lot of focus on homecoming this week. We had a pep rally on Friday, which was very well received. Right now it's Spirit Week. Tomorrow's Hawaiian Day. If anyone wants to dress up, faculty too. Senior athletes are being recognized this week, including at the football game we had last Friday, and then soccer games and volleyball games throughout the week. We have Powder Puff this Friday, and that kind of covers homecoming. For student council, one big thing I really want to highlight is our middle school started their own student council, where they had their first meeting online led by Miss Peters. This is something that we've been talking about for a lot of years, so it's really like amazing to see that it's coming together, and you know that we're really starting to get a lot of student participation, and hopefully that funnels into high school in a few years. We're organizing November blood drive. We have Wreaths Across America, where we have a presentation on Thursday, which is decorating veterans' graves, and we're looking at Calhoun. We have Ride to Survive coming in November, where both senior volunteers and student council members are representing, where we also have a upland bird hunt gift that was donated. And then the county student council is having our first meeting this month. That's kind of all I have for you.
Nick, any questions? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, I see a boat. It must be time for the senior trip.
Hello, everyone. So yes, we are back. So I'm Cheryl Graham, and along we have Sherry Meyer is here. Chrissy O'Sullivan was unable to make it tonight. So once again, we are here to present the class of 2026's choice for senior class trip. It is once again a cruise on the same cruise line, which is the Carnival Venezia, and this time it is going to Canada. It's a 5-day cruise departing on June 18th, and it would be returning on June 23rd. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Alec Hubert, who is our class vice president, and he will do the presentation on the PowerPoint. And then if you have any other questions afterwards, we could be here to answer you.
Good evening, everyone. As Ms. Graham just said, I'm giving the presentation on the class of 2026's senior trip. So this is a cruise going through Canada. It is 5 days from June 18th to June 23rd. Day 1, we depart out of Manhattan. Day 2, we spend a full day at sea. And then day 3, we arrive at New Brunswick. Day 4, we are at Nova Scotia. And then day 5, we head back, full day at sea. And then finally, we're back at home. Cancellation policy. Now, if the cruise cancels, the students receive their full reimbursement or credit for a future cruise. If the student cancels, this is where it gets a little tricky. If they cancel 90 days or more, they get their full refund except for the non-refundable deposit. 89 to 46 days, a full refund still, minus the deposit, and 50% of the total package price. 45 days or less, there's no refunds. Educational benefits, Nova Scotia, they have beautiful views across their harbors, historic George's Island. There's the Titanic salvage crew to immigrants at Pier 21. You can explore or observe marine life both on board and off board. St. John is the province of New Brunswick's large city and its most important port. Global life experience, you get to interact with diverse people from all kinds of backgrounds, and this is very beneficial since most of us are going into college or starting a new chapter in our life. The class of 2026 has $30,000 in its treasury. The estimated cost per person is around $1,500, and Carnival requires a 100 security deposit for all students. This would be refunded upon return provided no damages. We will have more fundraisers to cover more costs of the trip throughout the year, starting with homecoming. We usually make a pretty good chunk of money from that. Concession stands throughout football, soccer, basketball, and even baseball. We make a good chunk of money off of that, and then Valentine's Day candy sales. Requirements. Students will would require a passport. If they're under 18, they will need paperwork. Students must download the Carnival Hub app. That is pretty much an app for when you're on the cruise. You can look at all the food on there, talk to different, say, crew workers there. Anyone planning must attend a mandatory student-parent meeting. And anyone planning on attending must pay a mandatory, non-refundable $200 deposit. Discipline. The code of conduct and regulations set in the student handbook will be enforced at all times. If a student violates these rules, the student will have a chaperone stay by their side, and proper discipline will be pursued upon returning to school. If a student violates the rules of the cruise line, we will adhere the cruise line's punishment as well as the school's punishment. That is all we have for the senior class trip this year.
Thank you, Alec.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. How many students are in your class, Ally?
We have 70.
76
according to our enrollment.
76?
Do we have a number? Do you already have a number? So do you want me to just get up?
Sorry.
So yeah, right now we have when we took the survey, we have a tentative right now 38. I thought it was 37, 38, right in that said yes, that they were interested in going to this, this cruise. So that's the number as of right now.
How many ended up going last year?
Last year we had 48.
So I remember in the beginning it was in the 30s and then
it was, and then it upped a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So did
with
the
this,
kids, I'm sorry, did the kids pick where you're going, or you're doing it because of what's available?
both.
Oh.
So we put out a survey as to what they would like, and then of course we had to look at the dates that were available. Of course, the kids did want to go to Bermuda, but because of the times, the times are not the same. So when we looked at it, the times just didn't work with school. So.
Mrs. Graham, can you share the other options that was in the survey?
We had a Virginia Beach option. We had a Great Adventure New York City option, a Boston option, and the cruise, I think that was it.
It was open to the class to give recommendations, but a lot of people didn't.
Correct. We'd opened it up and said any recommendations, we'd be more than happy to put it up for a vote, and gave it a couple weeks. But yeah.
And those dates are after finals, so nobody's gonna have to worry about that?
So every date that the cruise line goes, there's going to be some, problems for some students. So we took the one that was going to least affect anyone. So that time, it is during Regents Week. There are no Regents exams that the students have to take on those days. The problem is there is a Regents exam, it's the physics exam and the chemistry, I believe, exam. So we arrived back at approximately, last year we got back to the school at about noontime by the time, from the bus in school. The next day, there is the physics and chemistry Regents. We have reached out, there's 5 students, I believe.
There's 6.
Oh, 6 students, 5 or 6 students who got affected because they will be taking those Regents exams. We actually spoke to them individually. There was only one that was on the fence because of the exam. The other students said they are fine with it. We spoke to the teacher. The teacher said at that point, he has all the review material out there. He has reviewed well advanced ahead of time. And he also said that he would put review material online for them. And they are more than happy. There is Wi-Fi on the ship, and they are more than welcome to bring their computer. And they can, those 6 kids, if they go, can study, even if they're on the ship. And they figured that because we're not getting back at midnight, they said to me, I had a couple students say to me, noontime is fine, they still have the rest of the afternoon, they can go to bed early, get up, for the exam. There was just no date that is going to satisfy everyone, and we had the same issue last year as well.
If there was a cruise, but if they wanted to go to Virginia Beach, it would be a different situation.
We would have to find the time, but we didn't even look into that because that just didn't win on the survey.
Got it.
And all these trips were presented at our class meeting, and this was the one that was majority, and we went by majority.
Aside from finals, though, how many other year-end events are going to be affected by?
I do not believe any, that's why we checked the calendar, and I do not believe, other than those 2 Regents exams. Yes, and that was one of the reasons why we chose this one, because there were a couple other dates in May, and that directly affected sectional playoffs, and that's what we had to avoid last year as well, and this one wouldn't have, it would have been right then and there with track, and we have a number of track students who look like they will make it. We spoke to the coaches. So again, it was never going to be perfect. We had students last year who chose to go on the trip and not a sporting event. So we chose the dates that seemed to be least effective, didn't affect as many students, let me put it that way.
So all I have, so remember, Fridays, Juneteenth, so it's like June 18th, then June 19th, which they'll have off. Then Monday, then when they're getting back, and you said they're getting back at noon, because at night.
We're supposed to arrive back at 8 a.m. and we were pretty much on time last year. I can only speak for that, and we got right on the bus and came right home. We were back at the school before noontime last year.
Right, because right now, on the June 23rd at night at 6 p.m. is BOE CT
That's what I was.
graduation, but it's just it's a hold in place, but usually they're pretty consistent. But if they're supposed to get back at 8 a.m. and then come home and
And that's on the 23rd. I can check with that. You said the 23rd, that is?
Yeah, that's the 23rd.
The evening.
And when do the students have to make their commitment by? Like what date do they have to?
We're going to be moving forward. We do have a deadline. There is an initial, we have the money to cover it, and you can get this back. There is an initial $25 per person to guarantee, just to be able to hold our rooms. That is due in November, on November 22nd. So that's why we came to the board much earlier this year, since we knew a little bit more, also the advisors, what was going on this year. So we wanted to come right away to the board, get the approval as soon as we possibly can. And then we will have we will have a meeting, and anyone who is interested, we will have the meeting. Usually after that, we set a few days after to have a non-refundable deposit. And at that point, this again, just like it was last year, it is not an easy trip for kids to come in. They can't come in late. It's not easy to cancel. And if they end up canceling, and you saw the cancellation policies, now that of course could change with the cruise line. Things changed last year as well as we were booking things, and that's out of our control with the cruise line. But they can't, that non-refundable deposit, $200, they will not get back if they cancel, just because we have set rooms and we just can't, we have to solidify their spot, and we need to make sure that they're gonna go.
And does that include any kind of insurance?
So what happens is, I have a breakdown of numbers. So it would be for a quad room, and the quad room cost, it would be approximately $709 per student for a quad, and they are interior rooms as of last year. It covers an $80 gratuity per person, so that they don't have to worry about tipping, that's all included. It also covers, which we did not look into last year, but a lot of students ran into problems, a non-alcoholic drink package, which is like, we were under the assumption last year that it was included, like soda, and it was not included. So we had the travel agent look into that, so that's gonna be a $48.53 charge for that drink package, because otherwise the students had to pay out of pocket for that. So we figured, why not just include that with their total cost this year, because many students did purchase it on their own. And then there's the bus is $109 per person for a coach bus to take us down there. We would only need one bus. We have less students this year. Right now, if we're going off those numbers, it looks like there would only have to be 5 chaperones this year. If that number increases, we would add another chaperone. The cruise line requires 1 chaperone for every 8 students.
Any other questions?
The cost of chaperones was covered by the cruise, or covered by the chaperones, or covered by the students?
That is covered by the class. So that is all averaged in. And then we purchase our own, like if I wanted Wi-Fi, or if I wanted to, those things are separate and we pay by ourselves for that.
And the passports are gonna be mandatory this year?
Passports are gonna be mandatory, and actually the travel agent just told me that Carnival changed their rules and passports will be required now by students. We have forms that we can hand out. I would say last year we only had about 2 to 3 students who did not have a passport last year. It was very limited. Most of them had their own, they ended up getting a passport. It was much easier with passport. And we also learned from last year, we will look at the birth dates again, which we did last year, because there is a discrepancy. More paperwork has to be done if the student is 17 versus 18. So once we have the list of who's going, we will go through the birth dates and check out that as well. It's not a problem, they can go. It's just an additional paperwork,
Kids that don't have them should probably do it sooner than later, because with the shutdown of the government, there may be a backup.
Yes, and that's why as soon as we get the decision from the Board of Ed, we are going to be moving forward with meeting with the parents and the students, and get everything, rolling.
Great, any other questions? All right, thank you guys. All right, moving on to number 6, the Facilities Needs Committee meeting, October 2nd. Mr. Kitson.
It's always fun because stuff changes after. You can update me as we go.
Yeah.
There were some leaks in the roof here. Once it started raining again, the roofing contractor came out to check it all out, and it turned out that most of the leaks were from mechanical penetration through the roof and not actually the new roof itself, which the roofing contractor did seal for us. The walk of the roof for the warranty was done on the 1st. There were a few small leaks in the roof once it rained again at the elementary school, and I believe those are repaired now. And those were mostly memory serves from what Mr. Boger said, they were penetrations in the roof for the exhaust fans. Mr. Miller was supposed to be on site the week of the 6th to work on the warranty process and for the final punch list on the 38 windows. Rows were right there. At the time, they were 99% done with the punch list. The windows had passed the water test, and they didn't leak during the rain that we had. Doors and hardware, the doors and frames are on site at the time of the meeting, and the hardware was set to arrive shortly after, I assume.
Hardware has come in.
Okay. And then we addressed the fact that the doors for Dr. Bressler's office were actually installed in the locker room, which was the issue with the windows in the locker room doors. They put the wrong doors in the wrong place. The library carpeting appears to have been installed. At the time, we had the wrong color on hand, and the furniture had arrived. That's been substantially installed here. The cabinets at the elementary school were still missing some pieces, but those again were expected to be on site the week of the 6th. Electrical contractor was working a second shift at the elementary school to continue on the emergency lighting. The 2 rooftop units for the elementary school cafeteria were due to ship mid-October. We didn't have a firm date yet. The mechanical contractor was starting a second shift that following week to start prep for next year's work in the elementary school. We had some discussion about the paving here. The parts that weren't done are out to Rutledge for pricing now. I don't know if we got those prices yet or not.
I don't have them yet.
4 different pieces. The main driveway up from 52 up to the back parking lot, the visitors loop, the side parking lot by the band room, and the driveway around to the loading dock are still out to get priced. And then we had quite a bit of conversation about field usages, concession stands, and bathrooms, which seems to be an ongoing conversation, and I think it will continue to be ongoing until we decide a little more firmly what we want to do there. Next meeting is November 6th.
All right, any questions for Brian? All right, thank you, Brian. 7, sorry. Skipping
Just get a date. I mean,
Sullivan County School Board Association Annual Meeting and Awards, October 6th. Mrs. Rutledge.
We love you, Jackie.
Well, we already did discuss it, but yes, last Monday, we all got together for the Sullivan County School Board Association Annual Awards Dinner. It's always a nice evening. It's nice to get dressed up and mingle with everybody and celebrate without a meeting. So we were celebrating Jason Clark, as you heard, as Outstanding Educator, and Ron Leakey for Friend of Educator. They also had another category, the schools picked 2. It's Outstanding Employee to the District, so there is another category. And that was it. The only thing I could say is the food was meh, but the company was great, and we were there to celebrate a wonderful evening, so that's it.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
You're being kind.
Brian had to go home and eat again.
I eventually got to eat.
Chicken medallion.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually, 15, 20 minutes later.
All right.
And it wasn't worth the wait.
Item 8, the policy committee meeting held October 7th. Mr. Elmhouse.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Ms. Couch for all the work that she did over the summertime. And what Ms. Couch did, she went through our binders of policies and she pulled out the ones that we need to review right away. Some of those that we need to review annually, some of those that we need to review every once in a while. And finally, some policies that they're just outdated and obsolete. And Ms. Couch did a great job on that, and that made our work a lot easier. And what we did also is that we decided, I believe, that we're going, instead of reviewing 3 to 5 policies per time, we're going to review a few more, like maybe up to 7, and get through the book a little bit quicker. One of the, and again, I don't want to take Rose's thunder away, but the policies for number 9 are the ones that we think are important right now, which is the school safety and also notification, disclosure of employee disciplinary records. And that's what we'll look at and talk about and look at right now. But again, thank you, Mrs. Couch, for all your work.
All right, any questions before we get into discussing these? All right, item 9 is a motion upon the recommendation of Superintendent Dr. Bressler to conduct the first reading of the following policies, which you have in front of you somewhere. They are here. 5681, school safety plans, and 3311, notification of disclosure of employee disciplinary records. Need a motion? Jackie, Jen, discussion on those 2. Anyone have any questions? Concerns? I mean, you'll have time because we have, before we approve the next meeting, okay?
And most of that was brought about by the state changes in the trauma sensitivity language that we had last summer.
All right. All right, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10. The first reading of annual policies. Motion upon the recommendation of Superintendent Dr. Bressler to conduct the first reading of the following annual policies. 5220, district investments. 5410, purchasing. 5411, procurement of goods and services. 5412, alternative formats for instructional materials, and 8260, the Title I parent and family engagement policy. Motion, Jackie, Jen, any discussion? So read through those by next meeting. Get us any questions you have on them. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 7, administrative reports. Dr. Bressler.
For those policies, the annual ones, there was no new recommended changes. I just wanted to say that this time. All right, so this was a very busy month. It is School Safety Month, and thank you to our local fire departments who provided fire safety education for our elementary students last week. They worked very well with Mrs. Buck coordinating that. It is always so adorable to watch little kids come out of the trailers, and if you saw the little clip on our social media there of the bulldog performing the stop, drop, and roll, it was really, really great to see and to have that community support providing our students that education. In other safety news, it has been 4 years since our last safety audit, and we will be having Homeland Security come in and complete a new audit in the coming weeks. This entails walking through our buildings, interviewing staff, reviewing policies and procedures. We have made significant advancements in the past 4 years and are eager to have some new updated feedback to help set safety priorities for the coming year. So we're really excited for that opportunity. The other thing I want to mention is that, of course, tonight is your enrollment report. October is when we get the most accurate snapshot of the enrollment for our district, knowing that it fluctuates throughout the year, and that's October 1st was Veds Day, so that's the day that the state uses the number of students that we had to go into our state aid formula, so it's a very important number. Looking at it, we are down a little bit from previous years. I'm working with Gabby Gardner, our data specialist, to really tease out the numbers. We actually just started to do some work today, but it led to more questions, so we're really going to kind of look at the students that are in the buildings comparatively with district-wide homeschool numbers, homestead numbers, things of that nature to share some more trends with the board. And we are also thinking about completing another enrollment study this spring. Again, we did that 21-22 when I was interim, and I feel that the new study will give us further direction on what's happening in our community with birth rates, and are we continuing on the same enrollment trend. So I think it's important to get that 10-year longitudinal study to get that done, especially when we're gonna be looking into a new strategic plan this summer. So I think it would just give us more information in order to really do a new strategic plan for the district as well. And those were the items I had tonight.
All right. Mr. Parisi, you're up.
The reach you have, Ms. Scouts, to get all the way out there for that. Pretty amazing. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me some time tonight to present an overview of our district performance, as well as how our schools are responding. Tonight's presentation tells our story of learning, growth, and coherence across the district. We're not just looking at test scores. We're looking at how our systems support learning, how our teams collaborate, and how we ensure every student is engaged, challenged, and supported. Before we turn to data, though, I'd like to take a moment to celebrate our recognition by U.S. News World Report as being recognized for a top school in New York. This is based on 22-23 data, and I'd like to kind of keep that 23 year in mind because tonight's presentation will show what we've done since 2023 in some of those areas. But that's the scorecard, and that's how they're coming to this ranking. The 191 in New York is out of approximately a little over 1,200 schools. And the 1997 national ranking was a little over 18,000 schools across the country. When we compare it to our neighbors, Sullivan West remains a leader. Since that time, we built on the same pillars as that scorecard, strengthening literacy and numeracy foundations, as pointed out, with our kindergarten readiness as another bright spot. And we also look at what we've done in third grade since 2023 in our ELA performance. As you saw in 2023, there were literally 0 level 4s. Okay, and the majority were 41% level 1s. Within a 3-year period, we flipped that chart. And the majority were level 3s with a stronger and growing performance in level 4s. So there's some bright spots that I want to celebrate a little bit before we actually jump into some of the data. But these bright spots don't stand alone. They're outcomes from the structures and the priorities we put in place. Each success story connects back to our district strategic plan. Priority area number 1, the student experience. So our goal is to ensure that every student is engaged, challenged, and supported in a safe, thriving environment. And that progress we're seeing in literacy and numeracy is a direct reflection of that commitment. Everything we discussed tonight is directly related to the student experience, that priority area number 1. Ensuring that every student that graduates from Sullivan West has the skills and the dispositions needed for future success. Now we can take a little look at some data, beginning with 3 through 6, ELA and math. Since 2023, we've doubled our mastery rates, which is represented by the green. We've also increased our level 3s, which is represented by the blue, while shrinking the lowest performance and represented by red, which is our level 1. And that is in the ELA test score since 2023. Followed a similar pattern in math, where again, we doubled our mastery scores. Level 3 is mainly staying steady, as well as here with the basic performance. But level 1 below basic performance is also decreasing, has decreased since 2023. Pardon? Gotcha.
Is that your shoulder?
Yes. So we're very proud of these gains. But the real story is how success connects to the work that's happening in everyday classrooms.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
The only thing is we had talked about the reading, the readiness of things, but it was a certain grade level, but these is 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, right? So it's not that the one grade level, remember it was like maybe after COVID or something like that. Right. I don't know what grade they'd be in, I was trying to figure that out, but.
Bryn was in kindergarten when we came back and implemented our new literacy program. And last year she was in 3rd grade.
Okay, but this is 3 through 6, so we can't even see those group of kids.
Right.
Separately.
But that was
just
the
curious.
group that was highlighted a few slides ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the group, okay, that's all I was just asking, because that was a concern of ours.
Sure.
Was that whole, them missing all of that, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out the year, got it.
When you say 23, is that fall or spring?
22-23 school year, so it would be the spring of 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so I wanted to also show it, and thank you for reminding me before we move on, because if you look at the iReady diagnostics of the spring of those years, you see that it was following very similar, right? The patterns that you're seeing with the growing green and the growing blue. So that's proof that the local assessments that we're using are accurate indicators and effective guidance for preparing kids for state performance on the state scores. Going back though, it is important for us to take a look at what the elementary is doing, okay, to respond to some of these. We're happy with the growth, but there's always room for improvement. All right, so we take a closer look at Ms. Buck and Ms. Adams have launched a refocus on efforts to refine multi-tiered systems of support, also MTSS, and we're rethinking AIS at the elementary school. Our emphasis is on building consistency with those supports, and that is how we identify the needs, how we deliver interventions, and how we measure growth. Going back to coherence, we're trying to build a coherence in the elementary school as well through our instructional and curriculum leads, who continue to align instructional practices and promote collaboration across grade levels. That happened just as recently as our last professional development day, where they were identifying gaps between grades. They were taking a look at data and making conclusions on that. Additionally, the instructional rounds is building a shared understanding of effective instructional practices, which, and I guess effective, a shared understanding between administrators and teachers, which ultimately leads to improved feedback and better conversations and post-observation conversations about instructional practices that we're seeing. We're also making strides in vertical alignment with literacy, math, and most recently in science with the 4 through 10 implementation of STEM skills. So these are practices that the elementary school is currently working on to help improve some of those things that we saw. As we move from the elementary to the 7th and 8th grade, the middle school performance, it's important to recognize that there were shifts that did take place with the standards, both what students were asked to do and how these skills were assessed. The next gen standards placed a greater emphasis on reasoning, explanation, okay, and cross-domain problem solving, which means our middle school data is going to reflect student progress as well as the challenges that go along with that. And according to NICED in 2023, that's the first year they actually introduced the statewide 3 through 8 ELA and math assessments that are aligned with these new standards. When we had our meetings last year with the middle school teachers, this is exactly the same feedback that they were giving when we had 6th grade teachers meet with 7th grade teachers, and it was the difficulty in reasoning and creating their own questions and being independent thinkers, right? Rather than given these certain problems, like an old math problem would be 3x plus 7 equals 19, right? The cross-domain example would be a rectangular garden. You guys curious about this? I can go there, but I saw some people, I know Rose is looking at the time there, so I won't give that example, but let's...
1 minute.
All right.
That was the good part, come on, I was so excited.
All right, all right, never mind. All right, so we look at the, I wanted to give that context. Again, that wasn't necessarily an excuse for some of these scores, but it was a little bit of an understanding about the shift in what kids were asked to do. Nevertheless, we did still see mastery scores more than double, okay? But levels 1, 2, and 3 still remain a focus, okay, going forward, which we believe that the middle school response will help answer some of those things. We see a similar pattern in math, okay, where the, again, mastery scores have increased since 2023, but the other areas, the proficiency and level 2 and 1 continue to remain a focus.
But there's also no accelerated kids in that 8th grade group, so they take out the top. So that would be a bigger, I mean, I just want to add that, because that would affect me personally. Yeah. But that green would be bigger because your accelerated class in the 8th grade would be there.
That's very true. Thank you.
So that would be higher.
Yeah. So when we look at the middle school response and how we're responding to some of those things, you know, what begins with strong support in the elementary school continues as students move through the middle years, okay, and where curiosity, confidence, and connection become just as critical as skills in those middle school years. So we're renewing our advisory programs, okay, ensuring students have a strong sense of belonging and a trusted adult. Additionally, instructionally rather, we're strengthening alignment with the high school and our secondary assistant principal, Ms. Moots, as well as guidance and core teachers are helping lead the use or the rethinking and re-examination of iReady data in 7th and 8th grade to help drive instruction and plan these targeted supports. They're also looking at and rethinking AIS and how they're going to equip the AIS teachers with the data report, the iReady data to help targeted interventions there. Additionally, the secondary school, as you'll see with high school, is also focusing on student engagement as an instructional priority. So that's how the middle school is responding to the 3-year test scores that we just saw. The trends we've seen in earlier grades continue to push to the high school level, right? Consistency, proficiency, consistent proficiency in the high school levels, right? And a steady push toward mastery. The next section is going to highlight efforts as we look through this, right? Looking at Regents proficiency, it still remains a strong point, although we have seen a little bit of a dip, but comparing Regents proficiency across years does require a little bit of caution, okay? Because there's changes in cohort composition, curriculum alignment, standard shift, and exam difficulty. So looking at that across different years makes that kind of hard. It's not the same exam every year, right? But nevertheless, we are seeing that strong numbers in terms of proficiency, and pointing out history was one of the areas that we actually grew in mastery.
And Dan, wouldn't it be like math, science, and social studies, you'd have breakout by subject area too? Like you've got, looks like you've got them all combined, like.
Yeah.
So algebra 1, algebra 2.
Yeah. I combined, this was
Okay.
all 11th grade. Okay, so when we take a deeper look at algebra, final averages versus region scores, you notice I put correlation clusters and outliers there. There's a strong correlation, right? That students that typically do better in class do typically better on the regions, right? Cluster-wise, the majority of our kids are clustered in the 65 to 84 range, which is indicating proficiency, right? And there are outliers. Some kids that score high in the course and low in the regions and vice versa, right? But when we look closer, some of that might indicate attendance, students that are struggling, right? And some areas in between. But the majority show the trajectory that we would expect to see. Looking at ELA, a similar scatter, okay? With, again, the majority, as students do better in the course, they do better in the regions. There is a significant cluster here, which indicates that students had high mastery, scored high in the class, and also had high mastery on the regions. Okay, and there were some outliers as well, similar to what we saw in Algebra 1. The high school response. We're seeing as we move into high school level, the story shifts from building foundations to demonstrating outcomes. Okay, the high school uses many of the same response elements that we saw in the middle school level, with an emphasis on student engagement, Regents prep, and strengthening continuity. As we saw in the July presentation by Ms. Moose, Mr. Eggleton and Ms. Moose have specific targets that they're looking to achieve with improving those mastery scores and proficiency scores. Next, we'll look at AP performance over the past 3 years. Okay, and this was one of the years, this was the year that they used for the U.S. News and World Report. And since then, we've had an uptick in the amount of students taking AP exams, the number of exams that were given, and we've had an increase in the number 3 and above scores on the AP exams. Graduation readiness, that is how many students are moving to each grade level with the proper amount of credits. This was last year, and this is this year. Again, showing strong numbers that there's a strong partnership between our guidance and our students, and our kids are moving from grade to grade with the right number of credits. College career readiness, these are some things that were covered in the July presentation, but nevertheless, 22 career and development occupational studies diplomas. This year, we had 10 students earn the seal of biliteracy, currently tracked for 16 students this year. So there's going to be a growth of 6 more students. 15 students earned the seal of civic readiness this past year, and we're currently tracked for another 15 students to earn that this year. Seniors graduating with 12 credits or more over the past 3 years, we've also seen an increase. This past year, 60% of our seniors graduated earning 12 credits or more, which is really nice on the pocket, right? CTE completion rate is slightly up from last year. Number of students taking aptitude proficiency exams still remains high. SAT is growing a little bit as that's a test that's coming back to college admissions, which every year kind of fluctuates a little bit. Our goal is pretty simple, to use the interventions that we're using to move level 1s to level 2s, level 2s to level 3s, and level 3s to level 4s. Our strategy is, let's see, yeah, lost my place here. Yeah, our focus remains clear, sorry. Continuing to align our diagnostics with state benchmarks, to deepen our MTSS and AIS, to expand collaboration, shared understanding of instructional practices, and keep students' experience at the center. Right, our district strategy centers on coherence, aligning systems, not just adding programs. Right? The goal is not just isolated gains, but a district-wide culture, all right, where data informs decisions, collaboration fuels progress, and students feel both challenged and supported academically, socially, and personally. It takes a village, and I'd like to thank all the many people behind the scenes who come every single day working on this. Do you have any questions?
Just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Let me find out, I'm sorry.
Sure.
The plot diagrams.
Yep.
Ideally, you would want all the dots together, correct?
Correct.
And what are the numbers of kids for this?
When you...
Is it every dot a kid?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you look at this, Mr. Elmar, I did look into this. The number of general education students that are in the proficiency range, it's high. It's the special ed students, the struggling learners, students that are struggling with attendance, which is where we're seeing some of the outliers and some of these scatters that fall. And yes, that the goal would be to have all our scatters here, but we're seeing that that main trajectory is indicating that high course marks do result in high regions marks and vice versa.
And then with the other plot.
Yep.
Every dot represents a kid.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So are you finding that the poor attendance pushes them further to the left and further down? Like, is that a correlation or
Yeah,
not?
you have to be here to get
Right.
the material.
How does technology play into that diagram? You're teaching class, but I'm smarter than you and I know how to hide something on my phone or device or what.
Sure.
How does that play into that diagram?
Well, that's a great question, right? Because technology is a real thing and kids are using it. So in terms of what they're doing in class, you know, in a lot of math classes, they still use pencil and paper. So they're not completing that on the computer there, but.
So it may not apply to the algebra, but I was more,
Sure.
you know, as it applies to other topics.
Sure.
You know, how does that apply?
That's gonna go by the teacher. I know there's been a lot of talks about how they're giving assignments, right? Given the fact that artificial intelligence is a real thing, right? So instead of assigning a research project completely, we're gonna write an introductory paragraph in class and here's the prompt and you get it the day of. You know, so that they are looking at the major components of what an introductory paragraph should look like, topic sentence, content, argument, thesis, right, in certain points. So there has been a slight adjustment for teachers, and especially ELA. I know during our last technology committee meeting last year, there were English teachers that were on that committee highly concerned about artificial intelligence. There were also ELA teachers that were in there that were excited about the prospect of it. So it's still a developing and evolving thing.
I'd have to share too that at the secondary level, this was just in our student engagement presentation last Friday. Really, when you look at the chart of learners for student engagement, the top tier is 10%. Those are the students that are only retaining maybe what the teacher's given out in class, right? So that actual student engagement is going to be where they're retaining it, right? So they've done it many times. So a student could do a homework assignment, they could use AI, ChatGPT, that's a one-time assignment. can't transfer it into a real project or document during the class.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's passing there, do you know?
What's that?
You know what's passing?
What's passing on Regents?
Yeah.
65 to 84 is a level 3 typically.
They're telling the class.
So we have a kid with a 12 average that passed.
That passed the Regents.
That does happen.
That means he didn't
but-
come.
We've had kids that didn't take the AP course and still were able to
That was you,
score
right?
it.
I took 2, I studied day of, and I got a 3 on
And
both of them.
yeah. So I mean, like, so while it doesn't look right, there are exceptions to it, right? Kathy, did you have?
Yeah, I had a question
Sure.
about the level 1 kids in the elementary.
Sure.
It's at like 20% in both math and English, and then when you get to the 7th grade, you're still at like that level 120 number. Are those typically the same kids? The below?
The red
The red
one.
one.
Red, right here?
But she looked back at correlation, so if you go back, that's 2025.
Yeah.
Then in your other ones would be 2024,
Yeah.
2023,
Yeah.
right? Kathy,
Yeah.
I saw it too, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the same kids in both English and math typically?
Yeah, yep.
Is that why we're talking about AIS? And
We're rethinking AIS because currently the model is where kids went to AIS. Now it's like AIS is coming to the kids. We're looking to try to push into class to build some of those supports and then have off ramps. So it's not a child goes to AIS and stays there for a year.
Right, because in the other levels, there is movement between
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah. Are you referring to?
You know, like when
Yeah.
you go from one year to the next year, you have varying,
There
you
is-
know,
there
it
is
is up and down, but
Yeah.
with that 20% on the bottom, it seems it's pretty static.
Yeah.
Other questions? No? Thank you, Mr. Parisi.
Thank you, guys.
Do you have more in your report, or was that it?
That was it. That was it.
I wanted to give you a chance.
I know. Only 35 slides.
All right, the business officials report. Ms. Deeks, you're up.
No slides. Good evening. I'm not sure if you've heard, but there's been a delay in the release of the single audit compliance guidelines for 2025. I know that's what everybody's been talking about.
Absolutely.
We're bummed.
So basically, the Office of Management and Budget has not released the compliance guidelines for the single audit. So the single audit is part of our overall audit, and the results are included in the audited financial statements. So because those compliance guidelines are not published yet, we have our audit done, our single audit is also done, but the single audit portion cannot be published yet or released because technically without the guidelines, we don't know if we've tested everything we're supposed to. So what our auditor is doing is pulling that out of the financial statement, and they're going to, the deadline to put it out on the on the NYSEG website is tomorrow. They're waiting to see if maybe they get the compliance guidelines tomorrow. If they don't come in, then we're just gonna put them out there with those, gaps in there. Obviously, every school district's going to do the same exact thing. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that if you go and you see it on the website, you don't think, what's all this missing information?
So the state hasn't given you the guidelines, but the deadline is still the same day?
Sure. So with the understanding that everybody's gonna be pulling that piece out of their
Right.
financial report, and they're gonna be reporting it at a later time.
Most New York State thing I've ever heard.
It's the Office of Management and Budget, so I think that's more of a federal thing.
Yeah.
Oh, there might not be.
Right, for the federal funds, because the single audit involves all your federal funds. So I just wanna make sure everybody is aware that we're going to be putting our financial statement out there tomorrow. If we get the guidelines, I mean, if they're supposedly not really even changing, the changes that are gonna be going into effect are gonna be going into effect for entities that have a fiscal year that ends in September 25. And so next year, those changes will affect us. And those will be like, maybe the threshold will be higher, it'll go up from 750,000 to $1 million. So right now, we get tested because we have $750,000 or more in federal expenditures. So it will still be, we'll have over $1 million, so we're still gonna have to do the single audit every year anyway, but I just wanted to make sure everybody was updated about that. Does anybody have any questions about the single audit? Okay. Our tax collection's going well. At the end of September, we had about 37% collected, and as of the 10th of October, we had about 84% collected. We're pretty busy this time of year, this whole fall season. We have a lot of deadlines and filings to make, especially at the end of the year. We have the transparency report to file. So that's a big time consuming. It's the SLFS report. Does everybody know what that is? Nobody cares.
What's it stand for?
It's the Every Student Succeeds Act and it's the school level finance survey. It's just a transparency report and it's a lot of data by building.
Another new acronym I can add to my.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'll bring more next week, next time. Later this month, we're gonna be speaking to the building and department heads to just let them know that we're gonna start wrapping up our spending for this year on most things. And then we're gonna start talking about budgeting again. And so we're gonna be planning for the remainder of this year, and we're gonna be working on end of year projections, and then a budget for next year. I know everybody's super excited about that too. I'm like, everybody's best friend right now.
It's like, it's October, let's start over.
Yeah.
It works, it works.
Is there any more information into why so many people didn't get their tax bills? Did anybody figure that out yet, or?
No, we did go talk to someone from the county who was looking into it, but, you know, a lot of people did get them.
Right.
So I'm not really sure what happened. We did get a lot of bills that came back that we had to get updated addresses on. But in my conversations with other business officials, everybody had the same problem, so I'm not 100% sure if it was the vendor that we all used or if there was just a lot of bad addresses out there. I want to say it might be a combination because I know people whose addresses haven't changed that didn't get it.
Right.
We took a lot of phone calls and we everyone that called and complained, we got their bills out right away, manually. We just reprinted them and resent them in a new envelope.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Claudia. Next is the enrollment report. If you have your laptop, you can look at it. If not, do it at home. Thank you for that, Sherry. Moving on to business and finance. We have a motion for a consent agenda in item 1 for 2 through 10, unless there are any that you would like pulled. If not, I'll entertain that motion. Jackie, Mike, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Turn the page. Personnel, item 10, or 9. I can't do my Roman numerals tonight. Consent agenda for items 2 through 13, unless there are any that you would like to have pulled. Now I'll take that motion. Jackie, Mike, all in favor? Opposed? Are you alive? All right, motion carries, I guess. All right, comments from the public. All right, the board. Jen, we're starting with you. You chose the end people, I gotta pick you.
I want to thank everybody for the wonderful gifts. It's really, sweet, especially the cookies, I guess. Right, that's, all right. I really enjoy listening in the beginning about the students because, the kids are so talented. I mean, I guess you don't realize what kids do outside of school and all the different talents that we have. We're so lucky. And I'm so thankful that we have so many great people working here and what they do for our kids, it's amazing. So that's all I want to say. That's it.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you for the gifts and congratulations to the honorees. And glad things are progressing along fairly smoothly.
All right.
Congrats to the students. Take it away.
Thank you for cookies.
Cookies.
Kathy?
I want to thank Mr. Parisi for the report. It's very extensive, so a lot to digest. And also for the opportunity to honor Peggy Vogler, who always had a smile on her face and a warm greeting.
Yes, she did. Right, Jackie.
Yes, thank you, everybody, for all of the gifts. And thank you, Christina, for all your hard work with policy again. I'll just ditto Mr. Elmauer, and thank you, Mr. Parisi, for your report. Congrats to all the award winners and our students of the month. And I did want to say I was lucky enough to be at that Sullivan 180 performance that Isabella did, and it was a very proud moment for me to say that's from my school. So yeah, we have great kids and great faculty, so thank you for everything.
Brian.
Anybody wants to chime in on how they would like Jackie and me to vote on Thursday on any resolutions, let us know.
Oh, you get to do that at BOCES?
I'm a BOCES delegate. We could have added that into my little bio.
Are you guys getting together? And
Did you get your email, your Dunkin' Donuts card?
I just got a bunch of emails.
I haven't
stay up
gotten
till
there yet.
midnight?
I gotta
Is
get
that
there
what
tonight. All right.
Everybody gets a Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
Stay up to midnight.
Just a reminder, there's a few things coming up, and only one more thing this month. The Mid-Hudson School Study Council Fall Awards will be October 29th in Middletown. I'll try to wear something that doesn't have a stealing tag on it like I did last year. It was so embarrassing. Remember that? What? What is this on my back? Anyway.
She lifted it from Marshall's before.
Yeah. They're like, how did it happen? I don't know, but it's embarrassing. Anyway, so
It happens.
Same
I have a
place.
dress in my closet with one and no one's wearing it because of it.
See, you gotta, it's a thing. The policy committee meeting is November 4th at the elementary school. Facilities needs is November 6th at the elementary school. The Sullivan County School Board Association dinner meeting is November 17th at Monticello's. And then the next board meeting will be November 20th at 7 o'clock. And I don't know if any of you is it too late to sign up for this?
No, they can still sign up, or let me know. I'll
The
sign up.
BOCES 75th anniversary, honoring the District of 4. Right now, we just have a small contingent going.
I'll be on vacation.
You know, I know, it's a bad day. It's
Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving week.
It's a hard day, right? It's
We might have to leave early.
Tuesday
Yeah, it's a
night?
I'm
Tuesday.
actually a little bummed, but.
Anyway, thank you, Mr. Parisi, for your report, and Christina for your hard work on this, and all of our award winners. It's always nice to honor our great people that do what they can to make our students stronger and better. I did finally get to a football game, and I thought I was gonna have a heart attack, because there was no defense, just lots of offense. And I was like, please let the clock run out. It was really a lot of fun, and I didn't have a heart attack, so that's all good. All right, with that, I have a motion.
It's like
Kind
a,
of like a,
it's like a little cocktail hour.
Before you adjourn, just a suggestion that sporting events or other things, take a moment to pledge allegiance to the flag, or have some member of the band play the national anthem. Be kind of nice.
I think Isabella Pasante sung the national anthem that night.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it happens.
We have a student that sings at the event, and Isabella Pasante, I believe, sung on Friday night.
Okay, as a veteran, it would be appreciated.
Yes,
I think we
that's
Yeah,
we
we
value
do
that.
every sport.
Yeah, we try to do that.
Every sport event.
Oh, and shout out to the fire companies who were there too on Friday night, which they're rough. That was cool, and the ambulance people. Anyway, motion to adjourn. Jackie, Jen, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 1-1.
I don't have anything for you to sign.
You're kidding, you say that? That's a good thing, right? Yeah.
Good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. My wife was texting me nonstop. They almost had it put in. Grace Cross went off Joss's head. Didn't top of the bar. So that was a good
Here?
Yes.
So I have an idea for this. I just know it. always feel like I work so hard, some of these, like always feel mindful of that. I would be a lot better. So I always think like that, because we always get that hit in 8th grade. I'm like, wait, they take out.
I do, but it's, I should.